Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
As you all know, my daughter is training to be a zookeeper. One of the areas they train them on is emergencies. Some of the scenarios they have to deal with are funny, like when one of their teachers dressed up in a bright pink shirt with the words, "I am a lemur," written on the front, and the class had to follow the correct procedure in containing him and getting him back into his cage. But others are more serious. Like when a teacher pretended to be bitten by a poisonous snake and didn't tell anyone that it was a drill except the person who was designated to call 911. Boy, everyone was mad at her when they found out that it was only an emergency exercise. But believing it was a real emergency forced them to show if they'd learned what they'd been taught. Jesus continually put his disciples in impossible situations to see if they'd learned one thing that they needed to know. That when a trial comes, they should look to him and depend on him fully. Directly after Jesus fed the 5,000, he purposefully sent his disciples on another training exercise, into a storm that he controlled. Now they'd been in storms before, and the last time they only turned to Jesus as their last resort. But this time, Jesus wasn't even in the boat. They rowed for hours, struggling with their own insufficient strength. Then Jesus showed up, walking on the water, and reminded them that they were called to faith, not fear. When he climbed into the boat with them, the wind ceased, just stopped. And John adds that the boat suddenly was at its destination. How did the disciples respond to this? It says in Mark that they marveled because they had not understood about the loaves. In the Matthew account, they worshiped him. They suddenly got it. This guy that they'd been traveling around with, he's God. Have you learned that through the training God has given you? Have you learned that you can fully trust him in all situations? Well, full disclosure, I always think I've learned it, and then I prove I haven't by trying to fix situations on my own. But when I struggle and struggle and then give up, he gets glory by showcasing his strength, which compared to my pitiful weakness makes him look even better if that's possible. Like the disciples, God sometimes intentionally puts us in impossible situations, calls us to jobs that are far too big for our skill set, throws unsolvable problems at us, all so we can learn to depend on him and glorify him in and through it. We have to admit our weakness, trust in his strength, and let him take over. Maybe you need to do that today.
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to share a treasure God has given you by doing an episode, please contact us. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you'll find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.